Where did the focus, though, on entrepreneurship from a foundation perspective, because that's very unique still to this day with the foundation, where did that come from?
Well, Mr. Kaufman had, first of all, he believed strongly that entrepreneurs were the source of most of the job creation in our economy. That a job was the best social program that you could ever develop for somebody. He had funded the foundation with the proceeds from the sale of the company in 1989. As a result of that sale, there were, as Phil mentioned, 300 millionaires created in the workforce. The workforce numbered about 3,000. And that was secretaries and forklift drivers and pharmaceutical machine operators. I mean, it was not just the executives, but his cut of the sale, about $2.5 billion, something like that, which he split and created his own foundation, and his wife Muriel, who had been the treasurer of the company early on, she created her own foundation. And his first goal with the foundation was the youth development, to help young people learn and get educated so that they could become productive citizens. And then he began to think about, well, if we get them through the education system, and he spent a good bit of effort on that, and some very successful effort, where are they going to go to work? Somebody's got to do the job creation. And then he remembered that since he was a famous entrepreneur, at least in the Midwest, lots of people would come to him and ask for advice. And he enjoyed that because he could tell very quickly if somebody was seriously interested in getting his advice, then they would go and try the things that he suggested and let him know how they worked out. I mean, he would spend untold hours with them. But if they just gave him lip service, he wouldn't pay much attention to them at all. But he got a sense from that he could have an impact on the success of entrepreneurs, especially with teaching them the principles and philosophies of business that he felt were the key to his success. And so he began to think about, well, perhaps now that we've got the foundation, which he had funded it to the tune of about $800 million, maybe we should take a portion of that to devote to helping entrepreneurs. So I had retired when we did the deal with Dow and had moved to Savannah, Georgia. I wanted to learn how to play golf. I wanted to learn how to operate a boat in the blue water. But he asked me when I left, he said, what are you going to do now that you're retired? And I told him that. He said, no, I mean, what are you going to do when you get tired of doing that? Because you will. I said, I've never been bored a day in my life. I don't think I'll have any. He said, give some thought to whether or not there's anything the foundation could do to support entrepreneurs. And I said, okay. And I got a call about 6 months later from him, and he said, have you given any thought to that? Well, actually, no, I haven't. Give some serious thought to it. Well, I'm serious. He said, I'm serious enough that if there were something productive that you thought we could do, that we would put half the resources of the foundation behind an entrepreneurship effort. That got my attention because I knew that would be, a very significant foundation. I also knew at that time that there were no other foundations that had any definite interest in entrepreneurship. So I did a feasibility study, came back to him with a proposal that we create a Center for Entrepreneurial Leadership. Yeah. And in his typical fashion, he said, okay, that's your thinking. Now, let's pull some other people together to see what they think about it. So we went and pulled together some entrepreneurs and some other former executives of Marion in whom he had great trust and confidence, and said, with this idea, let's go test it out. And let's put some meat on the bones and develop a business plan. So we did that. It took about a year, and we developed a business plan. And he bought off on the idea, and we
What year was that, Mickey?
That would have been 1991 and early 92, we announced the opening of the Center
Great.
for Entrepreneurial Leadership.